Hello, Ranger Nation. This is Josh Mason. I'm sitting alongside Todd Jones for the latest episode of the Ranger Rundown. Tonight, we've got quite a bit of things to talk about, but
Yeah, we do
Wait,
have
what?
quite a few things to talk about. Yeah, for sure.
sorry, I'm a little out of practice. I missed last week, missed the game in Fort Stockton, missed Ranger Rundown last week here at Rooster's Backyard, so it's going to take me a minute maybe.
Well, I was feeling very unwanted over the last week. I was afraid
Well-
I might have picked up tuberculosis or leprosy, something
Right,
like that.
when
Yeah.
when you draw a hunt, you don't really have an option of whether you get to go hunt or not.
I don't know, I would never leave you like that
Yeah.
in a lurch.
Okay, well,
I'm a better friend.
anyway, so as we start to talk about our schedule, first of all, we want to give a shout out to the Ranger Band who finished ninth in regionals in Amarillo over the weekend. So, in honor of that, we've got Raquel Martinez coming to talk to us here on our second segment, I guess. But also, we've got a busy schedule this week. We've got the Rangerettes volleyball team playing in Hereford in the bi-district round in Denver City Tuesday night at 6. That'll be live on GSN.
Correct?
And then we also have girls basketball. The first game is going to be in Sands this Saturday at noon. And as well as we've got, it's hard to understand that basketball is starting and we haven't finished football yet. But boys basketball, first game is at home this Friday night at 6:30 against Lubbock Cooper. So if you're here, if you maybe can't make the football game or listen to us Friday night, we can watch basketball.
Well, I don't think it's going to be streaming. So those
Right,
games are
but
not
if
gonna
you're
be
in
streamed,
town
but-
and they
but
don't
yeah.
want to listen to us,
If you're in town and you don't want to listen to us, yeah, you can go to the game. And
good
then you
point.
can go to the girls' game on Saturday in Sands. It's just down the road.
just down the road,
It's just down the road.
right around the corner.
All right, so today's lineup, Josh mentioned we have Raquel Martinez, drum major, is going to sit down and talk with us a little bit about the band and the contest season they just went through. Then we're going to sit down with Nate Turner with GSN. He's the gentleman who sat in place of Josh on the Fort Stockton game and kind of helped me out with that. And so he's going to sit down with us.
He did the best he could.
He's been the best partner I've had in the last couple weeks. Take that for what it's worth. And then we're going to wrap things up with Coach Hill, talk about that great game on Friday night. So hurry up and throw away your rotten pumpkins from your front porch because it's Ranger Rundown time.
And kicking off tonight's show, we've got the junior drum major, Raquel Martinez. Thanks for coming on, and congratulations on the win over the weekend.
Thank you.
All right, so Raquel, you guys have just wrapped up competition season. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how that's gone and what was it like making it, to the area marching contest?
It's been a really good season. I'm really proud of my band for making it this far. They made me really proud of that area, and I hope that I can continue with them next year.
All right, well, let me just help you out with this just a little
Yeah,
bit here.
just a little closer.
Yeah.
There we go. That's going to help you out a little bit. All right, so this is your first year drum major, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So it seems like we do this every year. I have trouble learning, right? So maybe explain to everybody how bands are rated and exactly what the judges are looking for when you go to these marching competitions.
All right. So in our first UIL competition is region, and those are in our division. There's about like 5 bands in our division right now. We're a 4A band, and so the judges base all of us on a 1 to 5 rating. So a division 1 is the best you can get, and division 5 is the worst you can get. And so they rank you based on how well you did, how many mistakes you made, if like the playing was good too. And you need a division 1 to advance to area. And more than one band can advance to area. Like all of our bands in the division 4A can make it to area.
Okay.
Okay.
And then at area is all the bands in our region in 4A district. And so there you need to do preliminaries, so you get like ranked from there on your first performance, and then the top 7 bands will make it to finals, and from finals, the top 4 bands will make it to the state
Okay.
competition.
All right. All right. And so you guys end up ninth. And there was how many teams were there up there competing?
I think there was about 17 bands performing that day.
All right. And is this the farthest you guys have made it before, or have y'all made it to area before?
We've made it to area like the past 4 years, but in 2016 we had made it to state.
Okay. All right. And I obviously that was before you were marching with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was it like for you? Leading the team out on the field as drum major this year for your first year.
Oh wow, it's an amazing experience. It makes me so proud to be in front of them to represent them. It's like
were you nervous? Were you what kind of?
Our first performances at the football games were quite nerve-wracking because I wasn't sure how it would go in my position. But as the season went on, you get more comfortable, and so you start enjoying it and living in it.
Okay, all right.
I think I'd be scared to death of the platform if I, had if I was on the other side of the weight limit or not.
Oh yes.
Because that thing would.
If I forget to lock it,
it might just. Oh, see, that's a bad deal.
That is a bad deal.
Because we set up really fast at competition, so if I forget to lock it at the end, I could get on it. It can just go and go all the way down.
that would not be good.
Mm-hmm.
Raquel, what's your favorite band memory so far?
I think it was my freshman year when we went on our band trip to San Antonio. That was a really fun experience, getting to go to San Antonio with all my friends for the first time and gain that kind of independence.
And now that you're the drum major, you don't really get to play an instrument, right? What instrument did you play?
I played the flute during concert season.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And right now I'm currently practicing to go to all region.
Okay. Well, and that was the next thing I was kind of going to ask you was what kind of awards have you won this year? I heard you guys did well at the drum major contest, right?
Oh yes, at WETAC we had got the drum majors. We got Division 1 at WETAC a rating.
Okay, so pretty excited about that.
Yes, it was a very fun experience.
All right, good deal. All right, Raquel, you ready for some rapid fire questions? You ready? All right, here we go.
Yes.
Favorite color?
Red.
Favorite food?
Tacos.
Which one's your favorite season, marching or concert?
Concert.
Which one is more important, the peanut butter or the jelly?
Peanut butter.
All right, and finish this sentence for me. I'm afraid of
Falling.
falling from
Off the platform.
pedestal. All right, yeah.
See?
Very important to get that locked up, right?
Yes.
All right. Raquel, we appreciate you coming in, and we're really happy for you guys and how well you did in marching season, and we know you got 3 drum majors back. Maybe next year you get to break through and get back to state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
That was great.
Folks, stay with us. Now, up next, we have Nate Turner, the man behind the camera, up with us on GSM. And welcome back for this segment. Now we have GSN student Nate Turner.
Nate, thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you guys for having me on.
I
here.
heard you did an okay job in Fort Stockton last
I
week.
think I did a little better than you, but yeah.
A little better.
Wow. A little bit.
Well, you got to have confidence in this role.
Good thing he just got his driver's license, so I don't have to worry about him driving to games or anything. But he's eyeballing me. Nate, how long you been with the program for GSN?
About a year and a half, I would say. I kind of started last year, halfway about. So yeah.
Okay. So I know, Nate, that you do a lot of different things there. what all sports and non-sports related things do you do at GSN?
Well, so this year I did a lot more than last year. Last year I just filmed the games, but this year I've really done a lot of graphics. Game day last week, I put a lot of graphics on the screen. So yeah, that was really exciting. And then also I make graphics for the Instagram and Facebook. I try to. Some are better than others. Um,
Well, the good ones are your work, right? The bad ones are Thomas's work. Is that what I
yeah,
just heard?
yeah.
That's what I thought I heard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. No, I make a lot of bad ones, but I'm starting to make better ones, which is really nice.
Well, yeah, I mean, we appreciate all the effort and the work. You know, if folks don't understand, you know, having a class for audiovisual allows us to not have to do all that stuff, right? And I think you can see a measurable difference between, you know, all of our broadcasts this year versus last year and all the previous years. So, yeah, I've been with this program for 9 years, and you know, it just we keep getting better leaps and bounds.
This is the best it's ever been.
Right.
And I mean, you guys, y'all don't get to see this, but you know, when Josh and I are in the booth, we look to our left, and Nate is sitting right next to Coach Thomas. He's the one that's keeping up with the score. He's the one that's running the scoreboard. He's helping go back and forth with cameras and give instructions and free Thomas up to do some stuff and fix what we mess up in the booth. And when I say we, I mean me. You know, I mean,
It's true.
You know, what you guys see out there, you know, these, you know, Nate and people like him are the ones that are putting all that together so that you have something as nice as we have. And I mean, it really is better than any other school out here. So you're doing a good job, Nate.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are. So, Nate, you started doing some commentary last year for live games. What sports did you do, and what was the most challenging part of that?
Yeah, I did. So it started out with basketball. Did a lot of basketball last year. I think I did just about the whole season. I did everything but district in basketball. So yeah, that was really great there. And then after basketball, I did baseball. I was in charge of everything in baseball, which is really fun to experience. So yeah.
All right. So you know, after a year of and a half of doing this, is it more fun hobby for you, or is it something that you might think you want to continue and pursue?
It's both. I have fun doing it. I have fun talking about sports all the time. At lunch table, I argue with people about who the better athlete is. You know, I do this pretty much in my free time.
That's a question coming up, as a matter of fact. So get ready for that. No, I'm
Well.
just kidding. Who the best athlete is?
Yeah. So are you ready? You ready for some rapid fire questions?
I am.
Oh, I guess maybe not. Do you do anything
No,
not
no.
sport related?
Yeah, I am working on a UIL documentary. So that will be really exciting. The due date is January. It is in January, and it's about Tristan Wilson, everything that he's going through, and yeah, I hope I can make a good documentary. Hopefully, we can win the film festival. So yeah, that'll be really exciting to see how it's done.
Well,
That sounds cool.
that's a really good idea. I never would have thought about that, but I don't think you could have picked a better topic than to put something together for.
I could agree. I can agree. So last year, who won state? They did a video. They did a documentary on a barbershop. So I already have a better story. I just gotta pull the strings with it, make it a feel good story, and it already is. I just gotta
Yeah, Tristan.
make it better.
Tristan's an amazing guy, an amazing story. So, and I'm sure with you putting it together,
agree.
you'll be able to get everything across that you need to.
And if
Yeah.
it falls apart, you can do a documentary on your two favorite local broadcasters.
Me and me.
Yeah, you and you. All right, here we go.
All right.
We're gonna get some rapid fire questions. You ready? Favorite
Ready.
sportscaster.
Bob Euchre.
All right. Favorite breakfast food.
Breakfast burrito.
Favorite class.
Lunch.
No, you can't pick lunch.
I can't
Recess.
pick lunch.
You can pick GSN if you want to.
I'm gonna pick Coach Dunn's algebra class. It's fun.
Okay. All right. What celebrity would you like to meet?
Luka Doncic.
Okay. And finish this sentence for me. I'm afraid of
Snakes.
snakes. That's like the popular
Lots
answer,
of
right?
snakes and spiders.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
we had a peacock last week. That was a really interesting one. I really enjoyed that one. That was a good answer. Not that snakes wasn't, but
Yeah.
so did you have fun up here?
Yeah, I did. It's kind of fun.
All right,
Been up
good
here.
deal. Well, you know, one of these days when we're gone, maybe this is something you get to do.
Yeah. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year.
I feel like
next
you're
week.
trying to kill me off.
Maybe one of us is going to be gone next
Well, that's the
year.
end of this segment.
Moving on.
Nate, we appreciate you coming, visiting with us, and sharing some of the talented things that you're doing with everybody with the network. So stick with us. Coming up next, we've got Coach Hill to talk about the relatively large win last week over Seminole.
Pretty significant
It's a
win
big
against
one.
It's a
Seminole.
great win.
And we will talk about the game coming up against Snyder.
Yeah.
And welcome back. Now we've got AD Coach Hill. Coach.
Good to be back after a win.
Man, I tell you what, I don't think I really haven't slept since then.
Yeah, me neither.
Seems like you
Me
keep
neither.
coming back after wins, right? We're kind
Well,
of on a
we'll
roll.
keep the streak alive.
Well,
Yeah.
last year he came back after non-wins. So,
Well, that's true.
I don't know if that's a fair, comparison to make there.
We're,
Hey,
we're glad
Coach,
to be
it's
back
always
after
better.
a win, though.
Coach, you know what I was going to talk to you a little bit about?
What's
so
that?
you know what's 11-5 and what's 9-7?
No.
That would be mine and Josh's records on game day picks. And I would be the 11-5, and he would be the 9-7. You know what that gets him?
What's that?
Second place.
Second place?
Second place.
Well, you're both tied for first
Or
in
last
picking,
place, whichever way he would like to be.
in picking Greenwood. So
Well,
I
it's-
can appreciate that.
That was an easy pick this week. We all knew they were going to pull out the win.
There we go.
Yeah, I-
Everybody knew that except for Seminole.
I,
right?
There you
I
go.
knew when you didn't want to talk about it earlier that this was coming.
Well, I was going to.
I
factor it
was
in somewhere.
fully, yeah, I was ready for that.
I mean, you only really had 2. You're 2 out of 6.
Golly.
It's pretty brutal.
That'll get you in the
last
Hall of Fame in baseball, though.
week. Man, yes, it
You're
will.
batting 300.
Yeah, it
there, so
will.
That's good.
So, Coach,
we were both wrong about Tech, though.
we were both wrong about Tech, that is for sure. But we were not wrong about the Rangers. And, Coach, sitting in that booth Friday night, watching your boys go at it toe-to-toe, never giving up. I mean, I tell you, it was an unbelievable experience.
Well, it was a lot of fun. I was really proud of our effort on the field. I was proud of our coaching staff and the way we prepared throughout the week, and it was just a total team effort. It was fantastic to watch.
It was a great night.
It
For sure.
was all the way around.
Well, Coach, let's share a little bit of fun with the folks and get to the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a few. I had a preview of this. I'm going to add an honorable mention at the very end, I think.
We could add a
Ma-
whole bunch of honorable mentions, I think.
You may need to make it a top 11. But I was really proud of our defense. This is a tunnel screen, and it's been really effective this year against us. But I was really proud of the way our defense was able to sniff it out. We got a great retrace there by Luke Fales. You can see Ty Box and Lane Wasson around the football. But our defense did a fantastic job. We can talk some stats here after the highlight film, but our defense, really kept us in the game, especially in the second half. They did a fantastic job. And our front seven, they threw the ball a whole lot more than they ran it. But I think that the key to any good game plan is stopping the run. And so our front seven did a fantastic job keeping them bottled up, making them rely on the pass. And, in the back end, we did a really good job, especially with Nathan Tarango and Noah Rivas, and some of those guys did a great job. And then, into the second half especially, I felt like this was maybe the most unselfish game that I've ever coached, ever been a part of. It was fantastic to watch. We had, obviously our offensive line blocking well for Lincoln, but Reese Watzel, Peyton Rahman, our running back, Nathaniel Romero, did a fantastic job throwing blocks up front. And anytime you can run the quarterback, you get an extra blocker in the game. And, if 6 blockers is good, 7 blockers is even better. And so we were really effective running the quarterback, and Lincoln, to his credit, did a great job finding the holes and finding a way to get that ball in the end zone. And then this one right here was a really well-designed play by our offensive staff and Coach Hernandez, getting Cade Rowalt the ball on a little glance route, and just, again, every score in this game was going to be, I don't know about that celebration dance right there, but
I loved it.
that is not a top 10
Shows some
celebration
emotion
dance.
right there.
But Cade did a fantastic job getting open. The protection was good, and Lincoln, and he threw a strike to him. He delivered it, and in a game like that, every score is going to be critical. Every stop is going to be critical, and so we were really, really pleased with our offensive effort. Again, especially in the third and fourth quarter. But I was just really, really pleased, obviously with the unselfishness, but with the execution. We had some miscues offensively in the run game and the pass game in the first half, but we were able to get those kind of cleaned up at halftime. And here's another one right here with Lincoln finding the end zone behind some great blocking with Eric Bustamante and Riley Allen, Jaden Colbert, Caleb Salinas, Aaron Carbajal. All those guys did Darby Whitaker, all 5 of those guys, 6 of those guys did a fantastic job. And then, we take great pride. Coach Martin and the defensive staff take, a lot of pride in forcing turnovers. And we've done that throughout the season. And I'm not sure there were any bigger 2 forced turnovers throughout the whole year than the 2 we had in the second half. That was great heads-up play, great ball skills by Nathan Tarango. And then here in a little bit, you'll see another one with Nathan Tarango and Noah Rivas and Dewey Bingham. But, can't say enough. I think Lincoln ran for 230-plus yards. And anytime you can get another blocker in the run game, just a real unselfish heads-up play, taking the slide there, running out, eating some more clock, getting that first down, but making sure that Seminole didn't have another shot with the ball and limit their offensive possessions by 1. That ultimately, I think that unselfish play, it turned the tide for us, won us the football game. And here's the play we referenced earlier. Tarango does a great job in coverage. Rivas punches the ball out, and then on the wide angle, you can really see it. There's a couple of Seminole receivers standing around, and Dewey Lee Bingham just hustles to the football, dives on it, secures it, and it was a 4-point game for us. But if that ends up being a touchdown, we're down 3 instead of winning by 4. And so every single play was huge in that game. I'd like the honorable mention for me was Dylan Payton's catch on the punt snap. I think
man, yeah.
He
the one-hander.
Yeah, he was 2 feet above the rim and caught it with his I think his index finger. He pulled that thing down, and that another opportunity it could have gone either way, and Dylan made the play for us. So fantastic team effort all the way around.
Yeah, when I saw him do that, the first thing that came to my mind was, what Jimmy looked like in high school making plays like that.
I'm glad he has Trina's athleticism and not Jimmy's, because that was definitely going to be out of the back of the end zone with Jimmy's vertical.
No, I think you're right, Coach. Before we get to the other questions, guys, we might be here for about 3 hours because there's just so many things to talk about. But you mentioned in that, we saw in that clip when you talk about the celebration dance from Romero, what I talk about when I look at it was, that was a long play, and Romero chased him down all the way to celebrate with his teammate in the end zone. He could have easily just celebrated with whoever was around him, right around the line of scrimmage, but he busted his tail down there to celebrate with his teammate. And the other thing I saw was on that long run, touchdown run or not on that play where you talk about the heads-up play by Madrid where he slid in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dylan Payton is holding his block 30 yards downfield.
Well, it was,
and it just, those guys play for each other, and it's just so amazing to see them do that. It's just so much fun.
Well, the offensive line obviously did a fantastic job, and that's a selfless position by nature. They're blocking for other people. They don't get their name in the paper. Not players of the game. They just did a fantastic job. But then you take a guy like Nathaniel Romero or Reese Watzel or Dylan Payton, Cade Rowalt, Caden Evans, all those guys that are used to getting the ball in their hands, scoring touchdowns, getting yards. And in the second half, we asked those guys to be offensive linemen, to be blockers. And I don't know how many carries or touches those skill guys had in the second half, but they, put themselves aside, put their stats aside for the betterment of the team, and just fantastic blocking on the perimeter. Nathaniel Romero, golly, I mean, he was putting linebackers on their backs. Reese Watzel and Peyton Rahman from their tight end positions. You know, we would motion them back and forth, run power and counter, and I mean, just an extremely physical game. And so when we got the ball back with 4.5 minutes left, and Seminole had all 3 timeouts, to be able to run the clock out, you know, despite having 3 opportunities to stop the clock, it just, you can't say enough about how unselfish our offense was in that. You know, with the game on the line, it was fantastic to see.
And Seminole got more opportunities to get stops on us than just the 3.
Yeah.
3 timeouts they had. There were some other things that occurred that kind of helped out a little bit.
And we overcame that adversity. Overcame
yeah.
some adversity, and you know, I was just really, really proud of our offense and how they rebounded and ended the game on offense. It would have been easy to go 3 and out and punt and try to let the defense stop them, but the offense took it upon themselves to do it on that side of the football. I was really proud of them.
We got some defense stuff coming up too. So.
All right, wonderful.
Yeah, you know, some thoughts that I had concerning the line on both sides. First of all, you said Dewey instead of Lee Bingham. I did the same thing on the broadcast. Couldn't remember what his real name was because everybody calls him Dewey, right? Secondly, you know, I remember Todd and I talking about maybe halfway through the third quarter, you know, at what point do we start a little bit of play action, you know, trying to give some opportunities. And Coach Hernandez is like, no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to run down their throat and continue the same momentum. And it just like broke the will.
Well, we Coach Cox on the offensive line and Coach Hernandez had a great game plan. You know, we and then got into some tackle over stuff a little bit. Had put 2 tight ends in the game, blocked with our running back, and just tried to find creative ways to gain a numbers advantage. You know, you're always looking for leverage advantages, angles advantages, run to grass. You know, those are kind of the things that we look for when we're game planning. And so give a lot of credit to our coaching staff, but ultimately it's the 11 guys on the field that executed at a high level to get that done.
Yeah, we were able to do that even with the additional yards we had to get right?
Yeah.
Well,
it was a great drive. It was a great drive.
We earned those top notch, Coach. So, Coach, what was the mood like during warm-ups in the locker room just before the game? It was a big one, right? Seminoles ranked 4th in the state, so a big game.
An unbelievable amount of confidence, and I really do. I mean, if you're asking me, I think this game was won in February. You know, when the realignment came out and our guys saw that we had Seminole on the schedule, everybody, it wasn't a state secret that Seminole was going to be really, really good this year. And, you know, I think our guys were confident. They were focused. We had a great week of practice, had a good game plan on all 3 sides of the football. And so, you know, the whole week leading up to kickoff, I think our guys were incredibly confident. And it's a good feeling as a coach to know that your players know they're about to win. And that was really, really a good feeling for our staff for sure.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So, you know, this game started off great. I mean, we get the ball, and I mean, and Lincoln's slinging it. I mean, we're going through the air, and we're moving it, chopping it right down the field. We get the touchdown, and then we get the big stop on 4th down. And and you're like, wow, okay, you know, this is, and then we kind of went in a little bit of a lull. We had the interception, and then it kind of was a little bit more Seminole, kind of had a little bit more momentum. What were your thoughts as you walked off the field at halftime, and what was the players' mood, and then what was your message to them in the locker room?
It was like the craziest halftime feeling I've ever been a part of. You know, I walked off the field feeling pretty good. At that point in the 8 games prior to that, Seminole was averaging roughly a point a play. You know, so in other words, if they ran 65 plays in a game, they were going to score roughly 65 points. And so, you know, on the headset, that was my last question before we went into halftime is how many offensive snaps have they taken? And it was, I don't know, right around 41, 42 snaps, and they'd only scored 17 points. So, you know, our what we had planned was working. Like, we felt good about it. Had a couple of miscues, but, you know, to slow them down to, you know, less than 50% of what they're normally running, you know, efficiently offensively, felt pretty good about it. But getting to halftime, and I think I mean this, it was strange because we're playing the number 4 team in the state, right? And our kids were like shell shocked that we weren't winning by 28. And I was like, guys, we knew this was going to be a dogfight. Like, let's take a deep breath here and realize that, you know, we're playing a really good football team, and we're going to have to execute at a high level in the second half to get back in it. But it was really, really, was really, really cool as a coach that it doesn't matter who we're playing. The expectation for our team is to dominate everybody. It doesn't matter if it's the Dallas Cowboys, who I think we probably could dominate right now, or the or your Texas Tech Red Raiders. We could. I mean, I think our kids expect to win by 50 points every time they take the field, and so it was kind of a unique deal to have to rein those guys in and manage expectations a little bit against the number 4 team in the state because we weren't winning by 3 or 4 scores. It was not the vibe I was expecting to get when I walked in, but it was pretty cool to see our kids respond that way.
Yeah, and by no means did I mean that the first half wasn't great.
No,
half, I mean, I remember Josh, looking at Josh going, we don't. This is not where we want the score.
Yeah,
but the score's not bad.
Yeah,
and that was a great half of football.
It
really was a really good half of football.
We did. We missed some reads in the run game and the pass game on offense. Defense, we had a couple of miscues, but, like I said, we were holding them to less than 50% of what they normally do. Offensively, we felt good about, even though we had missed some reads, we knew in the second half we were going to make them. And so we felt, as a staff, we felt pretty good about what was going on, but it was just it was pretty unique in the locker room at halftime going, wow, like they're upset because we're not winning by 3 scores right now. And I knew we had a pretty good chance at coming back after that.
Yeah, all right.
That's a cool story. Coach, we've already talked about maybe running that 2 tight end set second half. What other adjustments on offense or maybe defense did you guys make at halftime?
Coverage-wise, we wanted to make sure we mixed it up. Because of their tempo, a lot of teams they had played, kind of sat in one coverage, either cover 3 or quarters or, just kind of gave them a base look. So we want to make sure we continue to mix up coverages on an offense that's really, really explosive, really, really talented. We decided we wanted to give them more 4 down, as far as a defensive front instead of 3 down, and Coach Martin did that and had a good game plan. And then offensively, we kind of stuck to what the plan was going into the game. We just were able to clean up some quarterback keep reads and decisions, and then attack their coverages a little bit differently in the second half. But by and large, I feel like we stuck to the game plan, what the plan was going into the game, and credit to our staff. It was a good one, and we were able to walk away with a win.
All right. Coach, talk a little bit about the impact of, Tarango's interception. I mean, he had 2 last week. He had 1 of the weeks. Talk about that impact and then the importance, of the Rivas strip in that second half late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's something that Coach Martin is always preaching. It's not enough to just tackle the ball carrier. Let's try to get it out. We're always asking for more. And Nathan Tarango is incredibly cerebral from the shoulders up. He's an incredibly smart football player, and so was really pleased. He's coachable. He works hard, and it's paying off for him. To have 3 interceptions in district play, it's I don't know the stats, but I'm sure he's either leading or at the top of the district statistics. And then he was in on that play. So he was getting the ball down, or the ball carrier down, when Rivas came in, and just like Coach Martin is always preaching, it's not enough just to get him down. Let's punch at the ball and try to get it out. And he did. He was able to do it. And then Dewey Lee Bingham, to his credit, hustle. It was just an effort play. He saw the ball on the ground and got there as fast as he could and was able to get it for us. And if that was the difference in 3 points or 7 points, either way, it helped us win the football game. It was 2 huge defensive stops for us.
Yeah, definitely game changing.
Absolutely,
especially
100%.
Last, 100%.
Yeah.
Coach, we saw in the top 10 Cade Rowalt's long catch. Can you describe that play design and what maybe Coach Hernandez saw that led him to that play?
Well, we going into the game, we felt like the corners were either going to play outside leverage, be outside of the receivers, or give us an opportunity to win with inside leverage. And so Cade and Lincoln were on the same page. Cade beat the corner inside. The safety had rolled down, and so we kind of had a window to force that throw in there. And credit to the offensive line, great protection. Lincoln put the ball on the money, and then Cade did the rest. That's what Cade's been doing for the last 2 years since I've been here. Is you put it anywhere close, he's going to come down with it, and then the yards after the catch are what kind of makes Cade special, I feel like. And so that could not have come at a better time for us. And then we let Cade run in space, and not a lot of people are going to run him down. He did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I watched that's one of my favorite plays when I was watching the highlights and going back and watching the game again. Just the play design itself was just so perfect, and it was like Coach Hernandez just had a crystal ball saying, "This is what they're going to do. I'm going to call this play." And it was just absolutely perfect.
Well, he's got a knack for it. Coach Hernandez has done a great job calling plays for us. And Friday night, there's no time like the present. And great protection, great read by the quarterback, and then Cade, beat the corner with leverage and was able to come down with the football and run for grass.
Yeah, for sure. And some blue, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Coach, you talked a little bit about offensive line already. What were your thoughts? And maybe you can, maybe do something more specific or something if there's something comes to mind. But what were your thoughts on the line play on both sides of the ball?
The offensive line, I feel like we played really well in spurts. Even going back to the Childress game, we would do some things really well, and then we have a big misassignment or a big bust, and it would cost us yards or cost us drives and that kind of stuff. And the thing about the offensive line is, if four of them are on the same page and one of them's doing something different, it's not going to work. The run blocking schemes aren't going to work. Pass protection's not going to work. All five of them have to be on the same page. And Coach Cox and Coach Hernandez have done a fantastic job. And here, as of the last 4 or 5 weeks, they've done a fantastic job playing together. They're all moving with one thought, they're communicating well, playing together exceptionally well. They're identifying some exotic fronts and making changes on the fly and really doing a fantastic job. And then defensively, Lane Wasson, Lane Wilhelm, Dewey Bingham, Colton Armida, they're just Luke Fales just playing with relentless effort, just absolutely relentless effort. And on defense, if you can play harder than the offensive line, you're going to win more times than not. And so really proud of both guys, Coach Brandenburg and Coach Whittington on the defensive line, and then Coach Cox and Coach Jones, who coaches tight ends, is involved in the run game a lot too. All four of those coaches are doing a fantastic job getting the most out of their kids. And, that's what you want, especially in high school, is play to your potential. And I think we were able to do that Friday night.
Did Colton get mad? Because he looked like he was playing mad there for a little while.
He's continues. I think he's playing with more confidence, but continues to play with more and more aggressiveness and just making plays that I don't think he would have made 5 or 6 weeks ago.
There were a couple of nasty plays.
He's doing a great job.
Yeah,
he really is doing a fantastic job.
There were a couple break your will plays that I saw him. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Don't make him mad.
He's realizing how strong he is.
Yeah, for sure.
He is.
No, that was special. Coach, we had a lot of things stacked on top of each other. You've got our last home game at senior night, so a relatively large crowd. You've got a huge game against Seminole that's state ranked number 4, and then we've got the win, right? So describe from your perspective the celebration at the end of the game.
It was just, like I said earlier, it was the most well-rounded team win, unselfish play on all sides of the ball. It required a lot that week. Even our sub-varsity, our JV players that did a fantastic job giving us looks all week. I mean, they were on the field excited about the win. I mean, it wasn't like a one guy won it for us. It took all, there's 39 on the varsity roster and another 40 on the JV roster. I mean, it took all 80 players and coaches, and I mean, it was just a very well-rounded team win, and could not be more excited for our kids, our coaches, our community. And it was just it was pretty special knowing where we came from last year with an ugly 0-5 start to being able to flip the script and play well for an extended period of time. It was pretty special for our staff.
Well, Coach, I know that your rule is that you get to enjoy the Friday night game until you hit the tape on the next game coming up. So I know that when I saw you on Sunday, I asked, are you sure you haven't not living a little bit on Friday? And you said no. And so I know it's a little bit hard for you to go back in time and bring those kind of games and stuff back up because you're already focused on the next one. So we're going to go ahead and help you out. We're going to shift focus to what you've been you've been looking at for the last few days. Give us a summary of Snyder and what to expect on Friday night.
Snyder has a new coaching staff, a very well-respected coach out of New Mexico, and Coach Gonzalez has done a good job bringing his philosophy and his culture into Snyder. I think if you look at the record, you're going to be sorely mistaken for what you're going to see Friday night. They're a 1-8 football team on paper, but offensively they move the ball with ease down the field on all our district opponents, on Seminole, on Fort Stockton, on Monahans. They're really explosive on offense. You got a quarterback with a really, really strong arm. I think they are their own worst enemy at times as far as getting the ball to the red zone and then fumbling it, or getting the ball to the red zone and throwing an interception. But they get their yards. They do a really, really good job offensively. Defensively, they're young. Yeah, I think they're the only team in the district that has fewer seniors than we do. And so they've had some errors, but they play really, really hard. They do a really, really good job defensively from an effort standpoint. And so, today in the scouting report showed our players some plays where Snyder's doing some really, really good things. And so we talked about at the beginning of the season, our goal is to win the next game, and last week we were able to accomplish that. But if we rest on what happened last week, I think we're going to have a rude awakening. So we're going to have to refocus pretty quickly, because Friday night's coming and it's their senior night. It's their last home game. It's their last game of the season. And so if we don't come to play, we're going to be up for a very a long trip home. So we're going to have to bring it Friday night.
All right.
Yeah, they have just as much to fight for as we did last week, right?
Absolutely.
Last home game, senior night, and all that stuff. Coach, how do you keep focused on Snyder and maybe prevent a letdown Friday night with the kids?
Well, that's what today was about. We preached that whole thing, is you're only as good as your last outing. And I had a coach tell me a few years ago, there's not a whole lot of difference between a pat on the back and a slap on the face. And so the pats on the backs will turn into slaps in the face if we don't execute at a high level and take care of the Greenwood Rangers and execute at a high level. And so, we had a very up and down practice today, but I think we're refocused now, and I'm excited to get back out there and prove that it wasn't a fluke, that we are who we think we are, and we can execute at a high level no matter the opponent.
Well, we're ready to see it on Friday night.
Let's do it.
We're super excited.
Absolutely.
Wrap up the season on a 9-game win streak and be 9-1 going to the playoffs.
I'm good with that.
I'm all for that order.
I'm good with that.
Let's do it
absolutely.
every year, right?
For sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
So, Coach, we're going to do a little rapid fire here tonight. Last week you got to put the hammer down on me, and this week I just thought it was fair enough that maybe you get to bring some questions for my buddy over here, Josh.
Well, I wasn't prepared for this, but let me see what I can come up with. All right, Mr. Masonheimer, would you rather have a bald head or a bald chin?
Bald head.
Really?
Oh, easy. Yeah.
Really?
I think I'd look bad to the bone with a shaved head. See, Casey's,
we can do that.
I have confirmation. Emily will not let me do that. There's no chance.
We'll talk to Emily. See what we can get done.
Bald,
all right.
Bald with a great beard.
Best sports announcer. I can give you choices. You can just tell me best sports caster.
I'm gonna go Dick Vitale.
Okay.
I think,
okay.
Yeah, I know. It's just I'm
not
going to go this guy.
Do you have an impersonation?
No.
Okay.
No.
We can work on that.
Impersonations are not my thing.
All right.
Yeah, I think historically, yeah.
Obviously, the answer is high school football, but outside of that, college football or NFL football?
College.
College.
Yep. I think they want it more.
That was actually the right answer. All right. Asked Todd this last week, and he talked about pregame meals and that kind of stuff. What do you have a pregame ritual prior to announcing Ranger football games?
I think our normal cadence, especially on away games, we try to go to a local place and,
Gotcha.
and kind of get the feel of whatever town that we're playing. I don't think I guess that's really our only ritual.
Well, then the blizzard afterwards.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's a good point. We need the game to finish it at 9:30, typically at the latest,
so we can wrap up.
So we can wrap up the post game show. It's great because we've got Nate, who we interviewed earlier on the show. He does a lot of our cleanup and that team. So our chances of a blizzard, before they close at 10 o'clock.
I'll start checking my watch and see if we can run the ball in the fourth quarter and
if we can.
They go slot T for you guys to get out of.
If we can have Madrid slide a little bit more in the fourth quarter.
All right. What is one item on your bucket list?
Fly a helicopter.
Fly a helicopter.
Yeah, I think that'd be the coolest thing ever.
Okay.
We'll see. There you go.
All right.
Did you know? You probably did not. We've been friends for a long time.
I did not know that one. Yeah, I couldn't have answered that one.
Yeah.
Well, what's one item on yours? Fly a helicopter?
A toupee.
Golly. How are
Yeah,
y'all friends?
you know,
Good Lord.
I would love to get down below 200 pounds.
Okay. All right.
I've done, I've been blessed. I've gotten to go to a World Series game. I've gotten to go to a Super Bowl. I've gotten to do a whole lot of stuff in life. So
Just hang a toe off the
off the scale.
Off the scale.
Yeah, I need a little bit more in a toe. I
Way
appreciate
too
you
easy.
saying that, though.
Well, good.
All right, well, Coach, thanks for coming in, having a little bit of fun with us. I think we kind of really took a nosedive there at the very end.
I'm gonna have some more rapid fires for you next week.
Well, you know what?
It'll be
I've got a plan for you
I
next
like it.
time.
No,
too.
or I could ambush you with questions from your wives like y'all did me last year. Don't
Yep,
think I've forgotten. I
yeah, the
haven't.
past 30 minutes, I've
I
been
haven't.
thinking, what is he going to ask?
Well, I'm kind of hoping that you hadn't forgotten.
Yeah, I was thinking about my anniversary and how many years we've been married. Yeah, I mean,
When
it's
is
20,
your
by the way.
anniversary?
654. So it's like you
Oh.
can't really forget.
Golly.
Yeah. Super easy.
She planned that for you so you wouldn't forget.
Yeah, I can't remember. That was a long time ago. But well, folks, this is the end of our Ranger Rundown Live from Rooster's backyard, and we just thank everybody else who makes this possible every week. Make sure you subscribe to GSN on YouTube so that you don't miss out any of the content and live game streams.
Don't forget the things coming up. Rangerettes volleyball team taking on Hereford in bi-district play tomorrow night in Denver City at 6 o'clock. Come out, support them. If you can't make it, we'll have that on the network. You can watch that. We also have both basketball teams starting up on Friday and Saturday, so you're going to have a whole lot of sports going on. So it's a great time to be a Ranger. We've got 3 balls in the trophy case.
Gold balls.
Gold
Yeah,
balls.
absolutely.
3 gold balls.
Volleyball, football, cross country.
We got 2 teams still gold ball hunting.
There we go.
So hopefully we can crank a couple more in the case before we're done.
Let's
and-
go
and head into
Rangerettes.
basketball. Yeah.
Yeah, Coach
Big-
Long and the volleyball team.
Yeah, really hoping for that win tomorrow. Nothing to make me happier. So
We're gonna get it.
I think we're going to. We're going to get after
Absolutely.
that for sure.
Let's
they're
do
gonna
it.
they're gonna know they're in a match. So here we go.
There we go. Let's do it.
Guys, for Josh, Coach Thomas, and myself, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on GSN.